5 weeks ago, 30 plus GT cars lined up to form the grid at Silverstone, and now we are back in the UK to do it for one final time this season. Welcome to the TSRC PC GT3 Series Season 4 finale, brought to you live on the JP Broadcasting channel. My name is Kelsey Gill, and alongside me is Kieran Sharp in the booth, who is on the cameras, of course, keeping all of the racing action coming your way out on the track. And it is a pleasure to be here for the finale. Zach is gutted that he's missing it for karting, and I'm sure he'll be getting a little bit of stick for that. But our arena today is the circuit that I've come to like so far as I continue to discover them. Donington Park is one of the many jewels of the British motorsport crown, and it is a fast flowing and just a phenomenal venue to go racing. 12 corners and 4.020 kilometers see us on a lap around this great circuit that is built up of two sectors full of fast and somewhat tricky corners, and a third sector that offers a slight break from the high speed onslaught. This is an absolutely phenomenal circuit, and we've had changeable conditions out there through the practice session. It looks like it's fairly dry at the moment, although the track may still be drying through the qualifying session, so drivers will have to be mindful of that as they continue to go through into the session. And well, it's the finale. There's a lot of pressure on these drivers' shoulders to perform, and the drivers that we're going to be looking at today are, of course, the ones at the top of the standings, and as well through the rest, but we know where our attention is lying. So let's take a look then at the standings. Jamie Nuttall in the pros. There he is in his Ferrari, that black, red and white Ferrari, looking very mean out there on the circuit. He started his season off with a DNF, and he's been coming back with a vengeance, swinging and swinging and swinging as he fights his way to the top step for 3 times throughout the season. In fact, he's been occupying that place with the likes of Guillaume Hamling and Sir Smoggy, who have been trying to challenge him up there, but at the moment he stands on 113.5 points, with Guillaume Hamling on 99, Sir Smoggy 74, 70 for Jack Southfield 63, Dominic Aligna and Samuel Chumley 61, and there's James Wright, Sam Fleety, Maurice Stryker, Vaclav Volodya, Scott Tysers, Josh Millington, Paolo Angel and Eric Larson. Some of those toward the bottom, of course, are not really in for the championship at the top, but there's certainly a lot of places to be fought for in amongst the middle today. Hamling, well, if Hamling were to win today, this isn't considering fastest lap, he would win the championship as long as Nuttall was to finish in P6 without getting the fastest lap. He'd win by half a point, so keep an eye on that in the pros. We'll move over to the silvers, and it's a bit more of a leap for Elias Troyer to lose his space at the top of the standings at the moment. Marco Violetto is on 86 points to Elias Troyer's 109, and well, Elias Troyer will need to DNF really in order for him to lose his space at the top of the silver standings at the moment. So it's a bit of a steeper hill, but there's still plenty of battles going along in the silvers. And the AMs, it's a close fight as well between Salvatore Redivid and Roberto Miglioli, who are 88 points and 77.5 points between them, and there's 72 as Nick Stick is not too far behind, 69 for De Fronzo. Patrizio Gemello as well, he's up there on 68.5. It's a very close field among the AMs as well, and I believe I've just been joined by my co-commentator. I'm looking at the wrong server. It's the right person. There it is. There's Biggles. Hello, Biggles.
Hello. Traffic was. I'm here, and we be here with you, my friend.
Went out a little bit there, Biggles. Yeah, you're getting a bit. You're sort of
jungle internet a little bit.
Yeah, so. That's it. But yeah, hello. We're at Donington Park, Biggles, and we've got a qualifying session for a finale of 3 big fights going on. And well, what's your thoughts? What's your take as we go into this qualifying session?
Oh, it's very interesting. It's very sharp at the top end. You can see there, isn't it? The top 3 is separated by just barely inches, like barely tenths, isn't it? Actually, now make that. Yeah, the top 3, and then you've got almost a second gap down from the Honda and the 23 machine. So that's definitely going to be a close pole position fight at this point.
Yeah, it certainly is. We've got quite the well, mixing of gaps, I suppose. But yes, there's lots of time to be out there on the track, but we've got a big... I mean, this is going to be setting the stage for what is going to be a big championship fight on our hands. And we've got a lot of drivers who are vying for that top place. Lots of... I mean, we're watching Gear Hamling out there at the moment. He's only a few hundredths of a second away from Nuttall, his main rival. There's Jack Southfield in his Porsche trying to find his way around the circuit as well. But yeah, it's... Well, this is important qualifying, Dean. Would you say?
Yeah, mate, well, always important. Qualifying is definitely very important. Especially in this track that's, I don't know, we'll just have to say Donington Park's a little hard to overtake in certain places. What would you say, like these cars?
Yeah, I mean, Donington is, well, it's got those fast flowing sectors 1 and 2. They make it so difficult for the drivers to make any sort of moves into that speedy parts of the circuit. I mean, they'll have chances through sector 3, but the straights are so short around here. I think they just... You know, it's gonna be tight, and I think once the drivers who are gonna get up towards the top, they're gonna be the ones who are gonna really be the ones in the right place to really control the race as well. There's Samuel Chumlin, his brand new McLaren there, the McLaren 720 Evo GT3, I believe it is. The only one McLaren driver opting for it, and well, he'll be hoping that machine can maybe see him disrupting the fight among the top.
Is this the new one that came out? Came out,
yeah, today.
Which is the one that came out today? This is the one, is it?
This is the one, yeah. This is the... Yeah, it looks quite slick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It looks nice. I'd have one of them in my garage, thanks.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd have any one of these in my garage, to be honest.
Let's talk to the TSRC and the Sim Racing Collective about that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys,
what do we think of the McLaren?
JP Broadcasting, we're going to get one of them. Yes, anyway, I don't know. And let us know in the chat, please, what you guys and girls think about it.
Yeah, for sure. It's well, yeah, and Samuel Chumley will be hoping he can get that machine in toward the fight for P3 in amongst the pros. At the moment, he's not too far away from getting himself in amongst all of that. Where was he on the championship? And he's 61 points, so he's able to get in there if he can get some good results today. But he's got to beat the likes of Sir Smoggy, Jack Southfield, and Aligner as well to really cement himself in there. And let's have another look at the timing board. I mean, Redovid's put in a decent lap as well for the AMs. He's got at least, that's about, I want to say about just over a second clear of Borelli in the machine number 197. And Violetto leading the silvers at the moment as well. So still some very close times. And I think with this track, Biggles, it's all about confidence around here. I think there's so many corners that are fast and flowing. You know, you've got the old hairpin, you've got the S's that you really need to attack in order to find time around here. And well, carrying as much speed through the 3 hairpins or so. We've got Melbourne and what was the other? Goddard's as well. You've got to really carry the speed through them in order to increase the lap time.
Yeah, I'm only shocking. Let's have a look. See. Too far. Thought seems to be out.
I got about 5% of what you just said there.
Ah, yeah. Just having a little bit of the technical issues. Apologise.
That's all right. But yeah, it's good. Well, I mean, just maybe try and summarise what you said. To be honest, I forgot the question I asked.
It says I've got Green Bar's connection here to the Discord, but anyway, I was talking about the Sol Bentley that you're looking here at the moment there for the South African driver, I think it was, as we switch over to Orlo, the Italiano, the Porsche.
Yeah, Paolo Cisco, yeah, he's I can't remember. I think he's not really too much among the fight, but he's definitely in amongst the midfield. It's so close between the midfield at the moment. I mean, Redovid's got a decent cushion, but you know, it's I think just 11, 10.5 points or so, crossing the top. Well, P2 down to P8, well P7 at the moment. So it's really anyone's games in among the AMs, really between the lot of them, and it's going to be quite the close knit fight. I think this is going to be quite an intense race at a track that's going to have well, very few overtaking opportunities, but I mean, with this series, I think anything's really possible. I've seen some phenomenal racing at my short stint here, and I'm sure Zach can attest to a lot of that as well. And I think, well, we've got a lot of names out there, Biggles. I mean, Fleety is fast, Nuttall really fast, the Ligner fast. They're all they're all phenomenal drivers. You can't really, you know, pick one that stands out among the rest.
No, you can't at this point. 4 minutes left of qualifying. Just shy of 3 o'clock local time in the afternoon. Perfect conditions to go motor racing. Not too hot, not too cold. James Wright in the Porsche. Just trying to see where he currently is on track. Yeah, overtaking. Yeah, Melbourne hairpin. Sometimes, what do you think? The S's, you're going to be bold and brave on that one. Redgate, turn 1. Don't think anywhere else is really that much up for grabs.
Well, I've seen some rather what's the word I want to use? Some rather confident moves. I saw the last time I was here, it was with the Porsche Cup, and I saw a few moves in towards the old hairpin, which is, well, if you know the old hairpin, it's definitely not a hairpin. On this circuit, it's a very fast right-hander that you just sling that car into, and really doesn't really scream an overtaking opportunity for anybody. But here's Nuttall. Is he on an improved lap? Let's see. He's got 0.07 of a second to find on Sam Fleety, who's currently been perched atop the timing tower. And well, Nuttall's done it. He's got himself a 10th clear of Fleety at the moment in his Ferrari. He's looking to set himself up well. Here's car number 14. Of course, there's Hamling as well, who's actually, he's lamenting a little bit in this session, Biggles, and I think he's got to pull something out of the bag here.
Dying stages qualifying. A lot of cars on track, but they're fairly well spaced out. I mean, if he wants to catch, should actually be in the posted just in case. Exactly the we're looking at. Let's see if it's going to screen the car. The Lambo.
Very deep from Hamling. He went right onto the grass. Big puff of smoke from the Lamborghini. That's not going to find him the time that he's looking for as well. And he's making his way through the rest of the sector. And I don't know about this lap time here at the moment. He's really got to find something. There's only 2 minutes left on the clock. Maybe he can get himself back to the line and start one more lap. How about Jack Southfield? He's 0.3 down on Nuttall's time at the moment in his Porsche. He's making his way through Melbourne now. And on the exit, that looked fairly clean from the Porsche. Down towards Goddard's now, the final corner on this circuit. It really sort of drops off on you, this corner. You've really got to hug the inside and then run out wide and not get too much curb, just a little bit as you go onto the straight. And here comes Jack Southfield down towards the line, and he takes pole position now out there, just provisionally at the moment at 26.3 for Jack Southfield in car number 64. Well, Nuttall's got to find some time out there again.
Absolutely. Great lap too, seeing how close they were just shy of 10 minutes ago. And now you're getting down to the top 9 drivers separated by about a second. Definitely some more time that you'll be finding on this track. And you got a nice little breathe there. So you can see the mixture there of the Porsches. You got a Ferrari in there. And then it's good to see an Audi in that new McLaren that you mentioned. You got a Mercedes and a Honda, as well as the Lamborghini. So we'll see. No Beamers don't seem to be performing too well here at the Sol Bentley back in P17. But this is the battle up the top of the timesheets right now. Who wants to take it away from Southfield? Can't see any purple sectors coming up. And goes up in a P2 for Smoggy.
Oh, so Smoggy, yeah.
Mercedes up there. Absolutely amazing. That 40 thousandths of a second off. You're going to be just a little bit upset. Probably a word like that in the cockpit for just missing out on pole, but it's still a crucial position to be on front row.
Oh, it certainly is, and it's a little bit of a return to form for Sir Smoggy, previous champion, I think 2-time if I'm not mistaken. But here comes Nuttall. Has he got anything left on this? He'll be able to go for one more just about with 30 seconds left on the clock, and he does go even faster by an even smaller margin. It's 300ths, Dean.
Wow. That's about the distance of a piece of paper that we have here for race notes. That is how close it is. Another one. That's just amazing. That Southfield would be like going, damn it, I can't believe that the Ferrari come in there and just stuck that one away. I don't think anybody else is going to beat that. Well, you never know until that checkered flag is fully waving. No Barney, of course, this evening. That's an iRacing Barney. He can't work in both sim platforms.
Well, Dominic Lingner's still out there in his Audi. Sam Fleety as well. He was looking quick in the early stages. Can either of them challenge at the top of the pros at the moment? Let's see. Through the S's comes Ligner. That looked pretty put together and pretty aggressive through there as well, taking all the curb possible, trying to get the best exit, and that's really what's going to see you through that corner. Now into Melbourne, the second to last corner, and down this straight, maybe getting a little bit of slipstream from the car ahead as well. That will power him down towards Goddard's this final corner. Let's see what the Audi can do. Can he get himself any further ahead? Fleety and Striker have not managed to do it, so Ligner's the only one really who can try down towards the line. It's P4, but look at that, less than a tenth covering the top four.
Just like it was at the earlier start of the qualifying session. It's come down to front row position, of course. Second row. And we'll have to see how it's going to pan out, of course, into turn one. Then you follow your way through the twos and threes.
It certainly said that's Ryan Cockle make it across the line as well. There's Hamlin. Can Hamlin do anything? I think he's just on a lap as well. No, he's not. It's, well, a disappointing P7, and we'll run you through grid for tonight as we go along. And it's Jamie Nuttall on pole position again. The story of the rest of this season so far, since round number one, it's been Jamie Nuttall on the top again, and Jack Southfield's going to line up alongside him. Then we've got Sir Smokey and Dominica Ligner on the second row, Fleety and Striker occupying 5 and 6, and we've got Hamlin, disappointing to be in P7 for him. He's really got to pull something out of the bag during the race. So we've got Samuel Chumley in his brand new McLaren, and Josh Millington and Vyacheslav Volodya around off your top 5. Elias Troyer takes pole for the Silvers alongside Redovid, who takes pole for the AMs. Well done to those two getting themselves toward the top. Then we got James Wright in P13. We got Scarcelli 14, 15 for Violetto, Borelli, then Al Captain, Salvanecci and Paul Sims in P number 19 as we wait for the rest of the grid to make its way down. Then we got Paolo Cisco, Callum Morton, DeFronzo, Cockle, Miglioli, Giard, Kyala, Gemello, Romanoli, Fuller and Wells occupying the rest of the grid. We are set for what is going to be quite the race. We've had some really close times during qualifying, and well, the championship's just been heating up and up and up until this final point, and it's, well, the ball is firmly in Nuttall's court, but anything could happen in motor racing, Biggles, and well, I think I'm excited, and I'm sure everybody in the chat should well be with the season that we've had here.
Yes, we have Federico there in the chat. I believe we also have, I'm going to be really good at those names there. Giuseppe? Quite sure. Giuseppe? Yes. Well, hopefully get excited, of course. Give us your predictions out there. Who do you think is going to be taking a good spread of cars there? Ferrari, Porsche, Mercedes, of course, Audi, back to Porsche again, the Honda. That McLaren, the new McLaren out there. Was that, yeah, P8, you'd have to say. That's not bad for handling a car that's barely been, only a few hours released at best. With less than 24 hours. Would you say? Am I breaking up again?
Sorry, what was the question? No, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, very good performance there for the McLaren, considering the car had just been released there to pop that up.
Yeah, less than 24 hours, I'd say, actually. I think I was told it was only a few hours before the race itself. So it seems Assetto Corsa want to try and make drivers update their games as quickly as possible before they go out racing here at TSRC. But yes, and well, to go back to the point on names, you'll get to learn to pronounce Italian names here. We've got a very large Italian contingent on the grid, the spread among the AMs and the Silvers, and well, it's certainly been an interesting trial for pronunciations for me, but I've definitely enjoyed it. But we're going to be starting a formation lap here in 4 seconds or so, and well, the formation lap's important. Biggles, it's important for the driver to get themselves accustomed one final time before they go out in the heat. But just how important is it in a championship finale? Does it make it even more important, or is it just as important as it is every other time?
Well, the butterflies will be going through the stomachs of the drivers. Of course, they hit the beats per minute. If you put a heart rate monitor on these drivers, absolutely everything's crucial at this point. Even this warm-up lap as well, to getting the temperature into those tires. and maybe able to adjust. I'm not quite sure about the brake temperature and stuff like that, but then also just kind of get a feel for the car. You've done your qualifying session. That's it. It's over. It's time for race day. So you've got your 40-minute race. So you don't want to be just risking it for the biscuit in the first couple of turns. Take your time. Just build yourself the comfortable with the car. You're going to be braking a little bit earlier. The tire's going to be cold at the start there. Your heart rate's going to be through the roof once again, as I said. And then calm down a little bit. And then tame the beast of the vehicle that you're driving, and of course, and then seize the opportunity for overtakes when they come. And that sounds simple, doesn't it, on paper? But it's a lot harder than it looks.
So I mean, once you're behind the wheel, it's it's just you and the car, and it's just that's it. That's all you can do. You've really got to stay focused, stay honed in, and just feel the road, feel the car, just race, just go fast. I mean, it sounds too simple to be advice, but it's the only advice I can give.
There in the chat, go M4R. Have a good race from Eric out there. Who's M4R?
I believe M4R is one of the many Italian contingents. I think there's two.
Okay.
I feel like I should know them a bit better, but I think maybe Borelli and Co. Yeah, there's M4R for your Dean on the screen. So Borelli and Violetto. So keep an eye out for that symbol on the cars. But there's many of them out there. The Italian invasion here at Donington. But anyway, we are coming around, I think, Goddard's now. So we're going to start lining up 2 by 2 for a rolling start here at Donington Park. That's Melbourne. I'm still learning this track, but it is a phenomenal one at that, and we're going to go racing in a few moments' time. Jamie Nuttall leading the way for what could be the final time. Can he find himself winning this championship at the end? It didn't start all that well for him in Silverstone, but he's certainly come back swinging as we go. We are moments away from the green flags. All the drivers are lined up. 30 cars making their way around Goddard's to start off the lap. Here we go then, waiting for those green flags. When are we going racing? There is the line just about. Waiting. Here we are, TSRC Season 4 finale. And the green flags are now waving and we're off, and it looks like a decent start for Nuttall. Southfield's trying to find a way around the outside, but he's not really got too much room to do so, and he's just going to have to filter in as well. There's a bit of battling going along between Fleety and Aligna as well along back. Striker's trying to get himself involved. Hamling's going to want to try and get in amongst this battle as well. Southfield holding off Sir Smokey and the Mercedes for the time being as they come down towards the old hairpin now, and it's more or less as they were coming through at the moment. As it's Nuttall, then Southfield, then Smokey, then Aligna, Fleety, Striker and Hamling.
Excellent getaway. Brilliant racing from these drivers. Realize risk it all for the biscuit once again on the first lap, and seizing some of the opportunities in the hard overtaking once again, but getting those tires up to temperature, and very, very good. Just a couple of switcheroos from those positions, but yep, I'd have to say, Kelsey, that's the way to do a race start here at Donington Park.
Yeah, it is fairly clean. No big risks at this moment in time, but we've got a long time yet to go. 38 minutes of racing left already as we are about halfway through this lap, and we watch DeFronzo make his way through the S's, and here comes Sims. Is this going to be a dive up the inside on the Bentley as well? It might be. It could almost free wide there as they go along, but Sims has found his way past Alcamp as well. He's going to want to try and go, but Alcamp's come back at him. He's had a lot more momentum going through, and that's the inside for him through Goddard's now, and coming through. Alcamp defends his place for the moment. Sims is going to have to keep an eye on Scarcelli just behind him as well. 3 silvers all battling it out. This is for P4 in amongst their group at the moment, as the top 3 are, well, they're just ahead of Redovid.
Brilliant. Let's have a look at that. Currently at the moment, you can see they're all separated not too much. Remember, there's pit stops to take as well. Mandatory pit stop, you could see there next to your timing tail. That's the one next to it. Once you take that, you're good to go for the rest of the race, but you don't want to be taking it this early just yet, unless, of course, there was some sort of massive accident or damage taken. But so far, so good, as I said. Kelsey, nobody. Just a couple of cars at the back there struggling there. I think that's the 999 and the 88 machine that must have come off track a little bit earlier. But aside from that, everybody's still bunched up and now approaching down into Sharkey Straight.
Yeah, not too bad at all from
Starkey,
everybody.
not Sharky.
Starkey,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right. Oh, well, Jack Southfield, he's put a bit of pressure on, and from what I remember, Jack Southfield likes this track. This is a track that does well for him, and here comes Aligna actually in the background. He's making some moves on Sam Fleety in his bright pink car at the moment. The Audi trying to slip his way down the inside, approaching side by side now. It's going to be the switcheroo between the two as the inside now goes to Fleety, and Aligna's going to have to find a long way around, and the door firmly shut but now opened on the inside, and well, they're still side by side as they're coming down towards the line. Can Striker get involved in this as well? We're heading down towards turn 1, and it's Aligna's corner, and he's got himself into P4.
Fantastic overtaking, absolutely brilliant. That's how you get it done. If gap car, as they say. Look at this further back at the moment. Similar opportunities. And then had to back off a little bit. That's the battle of the Ferraris too. So far we've had two, looks like we've had two pit lane replacement. We've had the 88 car, looks like it has retired unfortunately from the race. And the 999 machine is still in it, but coming at the moment there. So the Ferraris, and those Ferraris aren't having a very good day unfortunately.
No, not at all. And well, almost a bit of an incident between the M4R guys there. As it was a bit of slowing down there at the moment. But DeFronzo is currently P3. He's going to be chasing after Redovid at the moment. And well, Redovid might be in a bit of a sweat at the minute, but he's got. I think he's still, as far as the championship's concerned, he may still be fine at the moment. And I think there'll be one man with the championship on his mind at the moment is Hamling, but he's still way down in P7. At the moment, Nuttall's got not much to worry about, although he's got Southfield just about breathing down his neck as well. But this is quite the train of cars we've got going on here. It's Sir Smoggy, all aboard the Sir Smoggy train, as we then got Aligna and Fleety, Striker, Hamling, Chumley, Millington and Velogia, all very close to one another. Can any of them make any moves? Well, Hamling certainly might invite some moves if he carries on going onto the grass.
Yeah, exploring those track limits to the absolute limit. You don't want to explore them too much, otherwise you'll be facing in the wrong direction. You ride that two-horse putty, so Mr. Nuttall there and Southfield have got that little bit of a gap growing, 1.3 seconds down to the Smoogie train party, as you'd mentioned. That's got those Gagler cars. And that driver, that's a little bit off-track excursion, but nowhere, unfortunately, at the moment for Striker to strike. Sorry about that pun there, Striker.
We're all about the puns here, Dean. All about the puns.
That's good. Oh, but up the road, look at this.
There he is, it's Aligna.
Yep.
Oh, and it's still side by side as they emerge as well, and they're carrying on down towards as well. Aligna making moves as well. Sir Smokey, there's no love lost between these two as they head towards this into the S's. Surely not. Side by side through there,
yeah.
and Smokey forced off. Here comes Fleety. He's making his way through. He's barging his way into it. He's on the inside now. Well, no, the outside now from Melbourne, and Strikers get involved. Hamling get involved 2 by 2. They go, and Hamling trying to find a way through in his yellow Lamborghini, but Aligna up into P3, holds onto it tremendously where Smokey is lamenting, and he's still battling away with the Honda, and the Honda's got the inside line now. Here comes Striker down the inside. Smokey has lost 3 places in the space of, what, about 3 corners?
Yeah, he said he didn't want to be the locomotive in that train anymore. Unfortunately, he's now turned into one of those carriages a little bit further back. But fantastic, isn't it? You'd have to say from Hamling, almost seizing an opportunity when it was there. But then Striker shut the door. Sorry, Fleety shut the door. It was Striker that was seizing the opportunity. I'm getting all confused because all these drivers are so close together, bunched up. Great wheel-to-wheel racing. Absolutely fantastic. Getting Kelsey all. What else am I?
Certainly, I was almost up and out of my chair, to be honest, watching all that, and it's not over yet. Fleety is putting the pressure on car number 716. That Audi has got to defend now. He's done the attacking job. He's got to open up the gap, and is that Hamling off the track further back? It is. He's off.
Yeah. You're out of the short.
Oh, Hamling. It's all come crumbling down for him. He had such a great start in this season. He was up there fighting away with Nuttall and putting the pressure on, and it's just, well, Donington's got the better of him, and now Sam Fleet, he's on the attack again. He's got to get his way past Dominic Aligna at the moment, and well, it's not quite there. The door's shut on the exit of the corner, and down towards God as they go again. This train is still going ahead at the moment. It's now Aligna at the head of it, Fleety just behind as well, and then we've got Striker making his way through. Can any of them make any more places, any more drama between these? So we've got 7 cars in a long old train down down through the grid at the moment toward the front.
Just trying to see the opportunities of where they're getting some of those overtaken opportunities. I mean, through the S's before, we didn't think it was possible, and that obviously ended up with Smoogie going off into a little off-track excursion. They're probably more clever to do that so that you didn't actually smash it straight into the side of one of the other drivers, and more so living to see the end of the race is more important, I'd have to say, than anything else. To finish first, you first have to finish, as they say. And the top 2, well, the top 2 are still getting away with it at the moment. 3-point-something second gap at the moment. So that's going to be... It's good to see that they are keeping each other honest on there, so that we're going to... Hopefully, we'll see a battle between those 2 drivers, the 14 and 64 car later on. Pit stop battles, perhaps, as well. That will be coming up.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, the window's not open yet, but it is a mandatory pit stop around the middle of the race. So keep an eye out for that. You do have to stop. And, well, you know... We've had a big update to the physics engine here at ACC, and it's really changed the way the tyres work and the way the wear is. And I think taking tyres is, well, I think it seems to be the strategy. It seems to be the way to go. And it is a great exit from Sims. He's making his way through both of them. Oh, he almost into the back.
And decided back up. Good covering off, you'd have to say, there from the Morgan. He's going to compromise his exit speed by going off the racing line, and that will definitely allow the Ferrari to pounce here. But still, once again, blocking it, isn't it? Doing the right job. Oh, and then the background's caused everybody to be caught off guard on that one. Who was that? A little bit of a spin. That was... Scarcelli, exactly. But here we go. That's actually going to bring some more action to this corner coming up.
Yeah, they go the Bentley. Try and find a way around outside. All the M4R drivers try not to get in each other's way as they're being cheered on in the live chat. But little bit of drama. But that's released Sims and Morton from the rest of them at the moment, and there'll be a bit less pressure on those 2 as they continue on. And well, Scarcelli's trying to make up some places. He's lost it to Alcamp now after that incident. And, well, he'll be wanting to get himself back in amongst all of this fighting, but he's got to keep an eye on behind him. I mean, the AMS drivers not behind aren't racing for points with Scarcelli, but, I mean, you ask a racing driver to back off and tell me how well it goes, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, when they're out, Kelsey, when they're out in the racetrack, my friend, AM Pros class and all that, that's thrown out the door. This track is the same. Everybody's out there in similar vehicles, of course. It's just whether or not you're judged on your pace earlier in the championship. At this point, you know, it's even more of a pride if you can go quicker than pro drivers.
Oh, yeah, it certainly is. And that was a great exit there. We just saw out of the S's. Can Koala get a similar exit and slingshot his way towards? No, not quite. In actual fact, he got a poor exit, and I think Salvanecci's going to look to have a go at the moment. But no, Salvanecci's the one behind. I'm thinking of Cisco, perhaps. It's rather confusing when the timing tower doesn't update the way that it probably should. But anyway, I digress. We carry on watching this little fight toward the back.
Yeah, we do hope that they can't see why they can't look at doing it similar to iRacing in the future there. So, but then again, I think at the end of the day, of course, you know, with all great racing sims, they focus on the cars and the physics and all that jazz first, and us as spectators second. That's okay by me, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think Codemasters could take a couple notes out of other Sims book.
They're like, what spectators? We don't even care about spectators. Anyway, what we do care about is, some great GT3 racing with these drivers. And this is, once again, this is a man that's just got hold of this vehicle, just basically pulled the covers off, didn't it? As it arrived in his garage today. Yeah,
more or less, taking the old temporary license plates out and this, that, and the other. And
do you think it still has that fresh new car smell that you always get when you buy a new car?
Maybe, or maybe it's got that, that air freshener inside as well.
The one that makes it smell like it's a new car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like since the Audi there, it's got the fastest lap. So the 716 machine, they're currently in P3, has shaved that 3.8 second gap down to 2.7. Once it's managed to clear the Smoogie train that was earlier to that little area that's Smoogie. He's still in the race, no doubt, of course. He's, just dropped a couple of places, but you never know. Pit stop strategies, and we're coming up soon when the window opens, may play into your favour.
Yeah, maybe, and I don't know. I'm not sure what the going strategy is going to be out there. Do you come in early? Do you try and get the overcut? Maybe the undercut, or maybe the overcut is going to be the one that favours out there. We certainly saw that last week, where the I think it was the overcut was the preferred strategy. As Hamling, well, he may not have taken tyres, but he certainly came out in control of the race for all that of a few laps, I suppose. But what do you think, Biggles? What do you think the drivers are going to do out there? What's your senses telling you?
Looking at that track map, and you can get that live timing. I posted that in. Just scroll up there in the chat at the moment. So it's a courtesy of live timing. You get that for free here. I would be looking as, but if you have an engineer or a spotter or something, just try to find the gaps. There is a gap on the track at the moment, so essentially almost a whole 2/3 of the track is open. So if you come out in clean air, as you just see the 716 machine put the fastest lap in clean air, then maybe you could put some great bankers in there and get an overtake in the pit stop when the other driver.
Yeah, maybe. So, and speaking of, it's open.
So what?
The pit window is open, and Lars Troyer, and I must say that is probably one of my favourite liveries out on the track. He's into the pits. He's come in early. He's the first to pull the trigger on the pit stops. Is car number 63.
There's the 88 machine, unfortunately, that retired on the first lap. Bit bumpy in that pit road, as you can see. Spot your braking point there. I'll lift the car up there. Will they take boots on and fuel? Let's take fuel. Not sure about boots.
They don't have to take tyres, but they can. So they lose. I think they lose about 5 seconds or so taking the tyres. But I think with the way the physics works now, they have. I think taking tyres is probably the way to go. It's so much quicker. I mean, last week Hamling didn't take tyres, and he was being hounded upon within the space of about 2 laps by Nuttall and I think it was Smoggy behind them. And yeah, it was a great little battle that erupted, and well, Hamling's trying to set a little battle off here. He's fighting amongst right after his adventure off the circuit earlier on, but he's still sitting behind in that Lamborghini, trying to find a way through. He can get it down into Goddard's, perhaps. No, it's not really close enough. He's got to try and look for a gap. Somebody who's trying to find a gap himself. Eventually, oh, here we go. Side by side again for the S. Is the second time today. Well, it was nice and clean. Triple 4 has found himself up a place.
One of those teammates behind there, I'd say, going to be working together, because he definitely got some serious speed out of that corner. As you can see, he's almost got a second gap. Going through that, but here's a side-by-side battle. Teammates, obviously, sporting taking colours.
Yeah, I think that's the other Italian contingent. There's 2 of them in amongst it. I think there's M4R, and I can't remember. It's Nord-Est. That's the one. Yeah, I should look at the bottom. I always forget about it. In there, but the Nord-Est racing team, the other Italian contingent out there, mostly among the AMs, but they're split around. But they're signified by the Italian flag all over their cars. And well, I think it's quite fitting. It's growing on me as a livery. It's simple but effective.
Yeah, as you can see, the driver you're watching at the moment is the other one that was in the brand new McLaren. Should be getting used to it. Probably the first time around this track, putting that many laps in before, and that new car is another growing further back field here.
Yeah,
this is teammates. This is the other team, and you got a feel for this driver right here, Gerald. They're stuck in the middle, sandwiched by. Essentially, we've got to get a Ferrari. We have Ferraris behind. Of course, Ferrari up the road. So, yeah, definitely a Ferrari sandwich. Something goes really wide there, and I've seized the opportunity on that. But back off a little bit. Now, you got to remember, too, obviously, that wondering some of the drivers are trying to take care of it by happy to sit in the Jordan would be happy to sit in this place right now, surrounded by those cars. Somebody else is at the road. So some of the drivers like to follow the lead if they're going follow the car up the road. If they're going, you're on the same pace that I could be doing. I was ahead of you. Happy to sit back at the moment. Maybe save some tyres. Fuel. Don't think this out. He's stuck in this Italian sandwich.
No, he doesn't. I think maybe the question is, does he decide to come in early and maybe get rid of them at the moment? it's all over. I mean, Alca's got to, it's fighting Fonzo ahead of him, who's not really in that category. He's got to try and get up towards Scott Kelly and Paul Sims there to really challenge toward the top. And well, he's been stuck in his Italian sandwich is not helping him out at the moment. So there's not much he can really do. The South African in his best friendly, but he's just going to try and find the speed and maybe find the gap. But he's coming under attack. They're getting head down. Here's Stanley Fleety as well. We've got draw drivers coming out of the pits. Jack Southfield's now into the pits as well. So the first of the leaders making their way into the pits. And Jack Southfield pulled the trigger early.
Yeah, and he had the fastest lap. Sure, if he still has the fastest lap, but that'll be interesting to see what's going to happen out there. To jump first and see if he can find a way of jumping those leaders. That's loyal, because there was about 2 seconds gap before that pit stop. But we shall see if he comes out and clear air and continue with those banking laps in. It's a possibility. I'm just looking up grabs. Sure.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's well. I mean, he's fairly clear ahead of the likes of Linkner and Fleety and the whole round. That seems to have settled down a little bit now, actually. And we're watching the Lodger, they chase off Millington, and well, I've seen Millington lead races, and you know, be one of the quicker guys out there. He's had a very off season. It happens sometimes when you're one of the fastest drivers out there. You just sort of. You have one bad race and it kind of sets its precedent for the season. It's side by side action, the McLaren trying to find a way through at the moment. I think that's on Sir Smogie's just ahead as well. No way through for Chumley at the moment. For Lodger, no way through for him. But Millington's going to peel into the pit lane and release the Ferrari. Oh no, mate, he's decided not to. What's that about?
Yeah, wrong pit entrance. There it is, my friend.
There it is. The wrong one.
He's got the F2 pit entrance or something like that. I'm not quite sure they use specifically, but very, very interesting. Taking a little bit of time.
Yes, just a little bit.
In Brazil or something, yeah. One of the escape roads.
Yeah. Gosh.
So the gap to the leader is 3.3 as the 716 Audi puts the fast lap in. That's all order. I have to say, not all is still pretty comfortably leading to this race for now. Pit window is still going to remain open for shy of 8 minutes. For the rest of the field, 2 boxes. You can see the little numbers next to their name. The one just after their number indicates they still have to go into the pits, and those green indicate they have currently at the moment. Yeah, 86 is in the lead of this race as pit stops, and that's Southfield. Actually, went just earlier from the P3 position. Another one. Right. That's the Wee racing team. Can't miss that.
No, can't miss that. We're having issues on the stream. We're going to restart everything at the moment. It's going to cut out for just a few moments. We'll be back as soon as we possibly can with all the action. We're halfway through the racing at the minute. I do apologise for all the technical difficulties we're having at the moment.
Should be good to go. We'll see how it'll pan. Apologise about that. Joys of the internet when people are in different locations in the world. Volcano. Piece. So that's going to happen. No earthquake I had yesterday too. My chair was rocking up. Was that going? I was GT3 car track. It was all good. It's a small quake. Well, is it rumbling here in Donington Park or not for a race victory for some of these drivers? What do you think about that? Are you back there too?
Yeah.
Kelsey?
All back. We're all back, and we're watching Dominic Liggner make his way around the circuit, and it looks like Nuttall's found his way in. He's come out ahead of Jack Southfield at the moment. The gap is still roughly about the same between the two of them. Southfield's been applying the pressure all race long, but he's not really been able to make the most of that pressure at the moment. We're waiting for the top 5 to come in. That's Liggner, Fleety, Smogy, Vlodger, and
they're coming in now. Fleety's coming in, and I love these names. I'm the biggest butchers in names. Everybody knows that, so I do apologise. I'm going to read the car numbers out every once in a while. Number 7 machine, of course, is in there as that's it for now. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how that's going to pan out for Nuttall, who's just came out, remember, as the race leader. He's ahead of Southfield. We'll get those timings and I'll update soon as to how much of a gap there was after that pit stop early, that the undercut that Mr. Southfield was trying to perform. Well, he did perform it. Look at that. I'm thinking, well, he's just, he's tucked up behind. Yeah, that timing. We just have to wait for the timing to update itself, of course. It gets a little confusing. Should figure itself out. So there it is. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, that is under a second.
Yeah, under a second. Yeah, I mean, with the tyre, it updates every sector line, so it is difficult to tell, but it is within a second of Nuttall at the moment. So it has stayed roughly about the same as it was at the moment toward the front, and I think Jamie's just been sat there sort of chilling. He doesn't need to fight Southfield if it does come to it, but he's just too fast out there at the moment. He hasn't got anything to worry about.
And yeah, the other two drivers are coming in the pit road, and it's going to be interesting to see what the 716 machine comes out. It's going to come out smack bang in the middle of this battle, or ahead perhaps.
Maybe.
Because Nuttall was the one leading, remember, the race. We'll have to see. Where are they on the track map? Once again, the live timing is available in there if you want to click on it yourself and have a look. You wouldn't want to be stuck in the middle of this pack, would you? You're going to be ahead or behind. So he's come out of the pit road. Now he's still in the pit road entrance, so the exit. And
there he is.
They're going to come out behind.
Yeah, just behind, but much closer as well, actually, I think. I mean, we'll wait for the timing tower to resettle itself, but it's, well, we'll see. Waiting for that line, but looks like he's come out closer, and he's come out clear of those behind him as well. Much clearer of Smokey, it must be said as well. And he's got some time to go. There it is, 1.4. So he has gained time, Biggles. He's gained time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's because he's just putting those flying laps in, one after the other, the old Schumacher-esque days, isn't it? Back in Formula One, that Schumacher would just put those banker laps in before the pit stops there, or like stay a little bit longer out there and put banker laps in there. That's why Schumacher would skip people in the pit road back in the day. That's the reason why you're a world champion. Good strategy at play. Unlike, I wouldn't say too much the Ferrari strategy of recent days has been that great, but we won't talk about that.
No, not at all. But I mean, you're ordering it yourself. There's a clearing blue flag cross, but Jack Southfield's actually closed in. He got a much better exit through the S's there, and he's looking to attack Nuttall at the moment, trying to find a way around the outside. It's car number 64, but no way through. He's had to just filter behind, but he's so much closer now at the moment, and this could be quite the little battle as well. Anything goes dramatically wrong here, and Nuttall will be, well, he'll be fuming, let's say. But Jack Southfield putting on the pressure now, and well, if this fight continues to erupt, that'll invite a Ligner into the fray as well, and there'll be 3 cars fighting it out for the lead of this race, and that would certainly spice things up as we go along. It looks like the rest of the gaps among the field they're fairly open, so this is the closest battle out on the track for the time being. Jack Southfield he's putting the laps in that Porsche. He's putting the pressure on, and he's trying to make some moves now as we get into the 14th minute of this race.
Absolutely fantastic. It's going to be great to see this. What I was telling you at the start of the show, wasn't it, at the top of the race, that you want to see that 2-horse race up the front where you've got it. Hopefully, when you get that 3-horse race into play too, because we do know that the 716 machine of Audi has the pace. That's the fastest lap. And you've got to keep them honest here. Can't afford to let them get too far up the road, especially with just shy of 14 minutes remaining in this race. No more pit stops to come from any of the drivers. So this is it. Race to the checkered flag. Keep an eye on those times. I think Fleetly might be a little bit too far back to be a contender there for a podium, unless, of course, something happens, and anything certainly can happen when you get a couple of cars bunched together on a track. With the exit speed here, you can see it's going to compromise a little bit by going off the racing line of your exit there, but you're just also playing psychological games right now, Kelsey, aren't you, with the driver up the road there, trying to force them into a mistake, perhaps, a drive-through penalty, unfortunately, for the 86 Porsche is going to drop that driver maybe outside the top 10. It's going to hurt.
These drive-throughs are never nice, especially in this. But yeah, he's putting on the pressure. He's filling up the mirrors. And well, a few things you could say about Jack Southfield is that he's got a very aggressive racing style. If he sees a gap, he's going to go for it, and that's what he got to do to make those overtakes, especially around here. If Nuttall leaves a gap going into Melbourne or into Goddard's, then he's going to go for it, I think. And well, if he gets a slow exit through the S's as well, he'll pounce on that as well.
On traffic too, the road. So that's going to maybe come into play here. Could get a nice slipstream off that car. You also don't want to be approaching that car into corners coming around here at this point, because that's where it can compromise you. Now, obviously, the blue flag driver's getting out of the way, but once again, it does just throw you off, doesn't it, psychologically? You're trying to spot your braking point into a corner, and all of a sudden, there's a car there. You don't know what they're doing, and you're just doing, you see gets in the background that gets out of the way. No, nothing wrong with the driver that was being blue flagged at that point, but once again, that's why you love it. It gives other drivers opportunities. It gives you maximum concentration too, to make sure it just reminds you of one of those 24-hour endurance races, doesn't it? You're just lapping people over and over again. Usually the GT3s are the ones being lapped and not lapping. But further back in the field here, here's the nice little battle, remember? 10 position here. Slice their way on board through the S's, of course. Climbing once again. You got to get as close as you possibly can, and then look at that. Throw the dummy. That's what I like to say, Kelsey. It's almost like in football, isn't it? The dummy. You got to just throw them off there. Make them look in their mirrors and see a car there and go, are they trying it up the inside there? Are they? And that's where you got to be very strong psychologically to think, no, there's no way that they're going to throw it up there and just continue on your own racing line.
No, not at all, but it's certainly worth a try. If you can open up that mistake, if you can make the driver sweat that little bit more ahead, the one that's in front of you, then, well, that's what's going to invite you up some places. And Elias Troyer, he's been having a phenomenal time out there. We've had there was a few promotions halfway through the season and a few demotions, but mostly the former, of course. And we had a few enter into the silvers from the Prams, and a couple of, I think there was a silver or two that could end up in the pros next season or so if we do return with this series at the moment. And our camp is looking to go racing with Redovid, who is currently the leading car in the AMS at the moment, and well, his championship is going very well, but he won't want to get too tangled up with our camp in his Bentley at the moment, trying to put some pressure on, so there's some more battles erupting.
Just approaching at such different speeds there, that the way that the cars have such more straight line speed, the way you've configured it, and obviously the different manufacturers and the way you're handling it. Remember, this is the practically the sole Bentley on the track too. Nobody else is really liking this car. Gerald does. Jihad, sorry. Do apologize. Get you in it correctly. I'm just happy that he's racing, of course, of all the electrical issues, and I don't want to jinx that one in South Africa. The blackouts that they have, unfortunately. But here we go. So this is further back, and of course these drivers will end up getting that P10 position because we still have the drive-through being served now, actually, from Millington. So that Millington will slot back out behind, probably actually a couple more cars coming down the main straight away, so it might drop back a little bit further back than this, but it will promote these two drivers. And something's gone wrong too with Illander, I think, as well too. So he got down to almost a second, but it's 1.4, so he's dropping the pace of the top two drivers currently in this race at the moment. And this is where your battle is, where your eyes peeled.
A moment, Troyer trying to find a way through as they go along. Car number 11 not making it easy for him at the moment. Here's Chumley at the moment as well. He's I think he might have had an incident. He was a lot further up, and he seems to have had a moment and dropped way back as the 111 car. So that's a shame for him in his first adventure out in his new McLaren at the moment. He won't have wanted that to be his first race in it, of course, but we watch him along as he tries to I think there's a lapped car down there, or is that Violetto? No, that is Violetto. So he is racing for position, but here comes Troyer again in that very Alpine-esque Porsche at the moment.
Switch back.
Trying to get the switch back, but it doesn't really work. The nature of the corner, you just come out wide and get onto the racing line, and Troyer going to try and find a way through again. Outside once again, long way around, trying to switch back again, but keeping nice and tight is car number 11, keeping Troyer behind at the minute and keeping P number 10.
Again, keeping us entertained on top of that, absolutely. Turn 1. And climb your way up through turn 2, of course, and then we'll see if they're going to go side by side for the S's. I don't think so. Not this time around. Sharp swing here to the right. Beautiful corners here. Classic track, no doubt. Get ready for a more of a climb all the way up the hill. just follow the leader really at this point, isn't it? Follow the car up the road and get good exits where it's key to get it. This could be a full send here. Oh, maybe. Definitely applying the pressure. That's all you need to do as a race driver to get the overtaking opportunities. Another one coming up soon there, Kelsey. Too far back, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps Millington might get involved in this as well if they carry on. This is the S's as they go through. Who's got the better exit? It looks like it was fairly equal, but I think Troy is just getting closer. He's going to do it. He's going to pull to the inside now. These are the moves you want to be making around Donington Park, and it's going to invite Wright to try and come back, but that Porsche was in the way and he couldn't really go through, and Millington now going to get involved. But Troy is ahead of this little train. There's 3 cars all jostling for position through sector 3 now. Coming through, it's Troy, then Millington. No, Troy, then Wright, then Millington at the moment as the timing tower updates once again. But a little battle erupting, and, well, Elias Troy, who's leading the Silvers right now, is getting in amongst the AMs and proving he's a faster driver than these two.
Good to see it. Absolutely great to see it. Unfortunately, we would like to see that a little bit more from our top 3 up the top of the timing tables, but they've all just decided to have a little bit of a Sunday drive there now on a Thursday, wherever you are in the world, and a little bit of a gap forming between them. So I don't think we're going to see this photo finish that we're going to see right now with 6 minutes and change with these drivers. Certainly keeping us nice and entertained, you said. With the silver class mixing it up here with pros. The silver class is up the road, actually. There's these two right now. Same machines. Different drive, different liveries. Look at this. Be the compromise. Speed it. Corner. I do have Kelsey here. Kelsey, do you copy?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's usually cut out for a really long time there. I just didn't know whether you would stop talking or whether you'd cut out.
Sorry,
it's really difficult to kind of bring it back in. But there's some great little fighting between these two, and, well, Wright just holding on to Millington, but perhaps losing some time to Troyer ahead. They're not fighting Troyer though. They don't really need to fight him too hard at the minute. Redovid. Oh, is this a battle between the Silvers and Ams? I think it is. I think this is Paul Sims fending off Redovid at the moment in his Ferrari at the minute, and that's a nice little switch back. Redovid finding the space and getting alongside again. They're going to go side by side down towards turn 1. Redovid going to have to go the long way around through this first corner, and, well, just about pushing him away, and switches to the inside again.
Yeah, went for the defensive move, but overcooked a little bit too much and allowed the exit speed out of Redgate. And that, just like that, that's what you go. Maybe a little bit too over-defensive in driving sometimes, and, of course, it'll allow the other opportunity for the drivers to seize it once in this battle. Still, of course, resuming. It's the pink machine versus the black machine, and they're both Porsches. Of course, it's a Porsche. Nothing between them. 4 minutes and change left in the race. Nothing happening with the top 3. Bit of a gap, big gaps forming between P4, P5. Maybe Mr. Striker's getting very close there back on Smoogie, so that could be another battle brewing between the Honda and the Mercedes for a P5 position, but he's going to have to get something done soon. He's about half a second and change, and you need a little bit, at least about 1/10 looking at overtaking opportunity, as these drivers right now are probably getting down to about 1/10, 2/10 gap between them, but there it is at the moment. So here it is, Mr. Striker and the Honda, and the sole Honda really on the grid. And we're going to bring it to essentially the sole Mercedes. So, what do you reckon? Kelsey, time? A lot, but you got to push it right now. Yeah, absolutely give it everything you got.
Yeah, everything you've got right now. If you've been holding on to something, then find that something and put it on the table right now. And it's Striker chasing down Smoggy at the moment, and Aligna actually is closed in on Southfield. Southfield must have had a mistake trying to push after Nuttall, so it's all kicking off in these last 3 minutes of the race. Alex Richards says a lovely move, and it was certainly a lovely move from Redovid earlier on, but we're watching this battle between Striker, and here's Cisco now actually making some moves on the M4R. It's the two Italian outfits fighting each other, and 97 and 74 come together.
Yeah, that's just 10 straight in. I mean, you should have known the car's probably got to be there. Very hard, of course, to spot your mirrors in these cars, but I guess it's just like maybe going to want to give that position up too much, and it just happens like that. At least you don't have to worry too much if you did get a little bit of damage with 2 minutes and change to go on this race. Yep, as I said, those battles are brewing everywhere. What had happened exactly? Suffield made that little bit of a mistake because they had about 1.5 seconds between them about 3-4 minutes ago, and now, yep, definitely, you make a little mistake at the dying stages of this race, and all of a sudden, that P2 might not be there next to your name. Look at the power slide. Do you think it's the tyres?
Yeah, maybe.
Definitely sliding out of the corners there for the Porsche, the 64 machine right there. And that could be, once again, you mentioned in the previous races, just too punishing on your tyres. So much more quicker. The Audi is right now. Dominic.
Yeah, I don't know, Jack Southwood, he just seems to have been struggling a little bit on the tyres as well, and he's perhaps fairly aggressive trying to get through the traffic. It's just teetering on the racing line there, but just about avoiding it with cat-like reflexes at the moment. Aligna still close to the back of Southfield. I think we're going for one more lap around this circuit. I don't think we'll have time for any more. And there's a big gaggle of cars going on here. I think there's some lapped cars as well. This is some Heineken and Schumacher stuff, and it's making a way through. And Smokey striking through on Smokey.
Wow, Striker is finally eventually got that through. Those cars definitely came into play. They're not quite sure who it helped out. Did it help out Smoogie? Actually, Smoogie did help out Smoogie on that one, but Striker got the overtake done before. So another opportunity to strike back there on the dying stages. I'm not sure has the white flag been flown just yet because, well, Mr. Nuttall at the front there, he's the one that's going to see it no problems. He's not going to be worried too much about that battle behind him. That's brewing for the P2 position, and here it is. Maybe the final opportunity here for Dominic to do something about it. He wants fast forward racing. You can see the tyres on Porsche. Just can't exit the speed there. He's got the power down, and the car's going, I'm not agreeing with you, and that's going to seize an opportunity here for the Audi. That might have been a little bit better on his tyres, but of course you can see still holding off the German as much as possible.
Yeah, Southfield really just claimed that corner. He made it his, and he didn't let Aligna put him off as he went through into it and kept the position. Now, can they go through at the moment? I think this is the final lap. I've been looking. Yeah, I think coming around the final corner now is Nuttall. Is it the final lap? No, we're going for one more lap.
Oh, that's going to be exciting.
So close.
Yes. Drive through, unfortunately, for the 16 machine of Fleetly, that's going to compromise my time and drop down maybe outside. That says a lap there, but that's not a lap. Not lap cars for sure. That's just all wrong on that. But yeah, he's going to lose those positions. But here we go. Another opportunity for Dominic to do something about this. Another opportunity. Oh! Complete lift off through there.
Yeah, that was fighting through.
Yeah, I wonder why he's just given up there and said, look, there's no way, my tyres are absolutely cooked. Somebody said there in the chat, 2 tyres. It looks like tyres. Maybe Southfield's just selected to say, look, I at this point, I'm probably going to go off the track and crash and lose those positions. So probably a smart decision just to accept a P3 and deliver it home at the end of the day. Probably a wise choice.
Federico seems to think it was a dive out there on the circuit, and it was certainly an impressive one of one, perhaps. I don't know. I mean, it did look like he was struggling out there on tyres, but here he is then, our leader, Jamie Nuttall, the man who's about to come and win the championship here at the GT3 Series for the pros. He's got one final corner to navigate, one final trip around Goddard's in his Ferrari, and he started off his season with a DNF, and he's got himself another win to add to his collection throughout this season. It's Nuttall crossing the line. He has won the championship for the pros at the moment. Dominic Aligna's going to come home in P2, and then Jack Southfield's about to follow him through as well, struggling but managed to hold on to the podium. Then Fleety, he's going to have to serve that penalty after the race. He won't be P4 after this. Then it'll be Striker, Smokey, Velogia and Hambling to come through the line. But here's Elias Troyer in that Porsche. And again, I'm going to say it's my favourite livery out there on the circuit. That shaded blue is just phenomenal, and his season has been just as phenomenal as well. He's going to come home after this one last corner to win for the Silvers at the moment. Another champion crowned. I think this is his second perhaps in amongst the Silvers. I'm going to have to check that, of course. I probably should have done that before the race, but either way, it's Troyer crossing the line and of course weaving for some celebrations out there. He's had some great fun out there on the track, and well, for the M4R outfit out there, Redovid coming around Melbourne now. then one more corner or so to go. I think he's going a bit leisurely out there, very deep through there, and well, he hasn't got any worries behind him. Samuel Chumley has really dropped down the order as well in P17, I'm noticing, but Redovid's coming along as well. So all of your champions, well, they went and won the races that they're fighting in, and well, there was no real drama or mix-ups between it. We've had a few battles along the track, but it's it. This is it. That's the final. It's done. It's over.
Like that, you just said, crowning some champions fantastically. Of course, they're out there doing their donut celebrations. Why not? It's been a grueling season, and they've had to deliver there. There's your results on the screen right now. If you did get through, Kelsey.
Yes, Jamie Nuttall then is the top man. He has won the pros, and Dominic Ligna in a great fight to get himself into P2. Jack Salford Browns for your podium for the pros. And we got Striker, Smokey, Velogia, Hamling, Fleety. Then Troyer is your winner for silvers, and of course for the championship in the silvers as well. Then we got Millington and Wright, Violetta and Scarcelli round off your silver podium, with Paul Sims in 14th position. Then Redovid is your winner for the AMS and the winner of the AMS championship as well. Then there's Callum Morton separating Cockle from from Redovid at the moment. He is your second place in the AMS. And then we got Chumley in P18. Then there's Salvi, Alcarelli, Gemello, Cisco, DeFronzo, Miglioli, Giard, Romanoli, Kyala, Fuller, and Wells, who didn't manage to finish the racing car number 88. But wow. What a race around Donington Park we've had for a finale, and well, it's for a first time here. I think it's certainly a track that I'm sure we'll revisit in the future.
You got to. It's one of those great GT3 track courses. Sometimes you think it doesn't have as much overtake, but it certainly does. And of course, at the end, they really take care of your tires, isn't it? At the end of the day, like pushing it, risking it for the best in moments, and seeing how the car delivers across the line. But nothing that the number 14 Ferrari needed to worry about at the moment, isn't it? Kind of dominated that race and dominated the championship.
Yeah, he did. You know, Zach and I were saying, you know, that DNF could come back to haunt him, but it certainly didn't. And he's gone out and he's won, and he's fought incredibly hard for this win out there. And well, you've not watched along with most of the championship, but are you thoroughly impressed with the TSRC boys and their job today?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure, obviously, stepping in to help there. Apologies once again about the traffic just getting in there during qualifying. And of course, little technical issues that we had. Absolutely fantastic. A great series. Looking forward to watching more. For sure. I'll be watching from the sidelines. Definitely. So much motor racing to watch here on the JP Broadcaster Network as well, too. So it keeps you up for hours and hours and hours. And I'll definitely be focusing on this league. I hope everybody in the chat has also enjoyed it. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe if you did. Only one thumbs up at the moment, so come on. It sounds like people have enjoyed it, but maybe they will. Drivers, of course, will be watching this one back, seeing how they panned out track, their liveries, and those overtaking opportunities that we saw. Brilliant overtaking opportunities, and a little bit of bumps, isn't there? A little bit of argy-bargy, but not a great deal, which just indicates great racing gladiators.
Yes, certainly, and I'm sure that we'll be back once again with the TSRC GT3 Series very, very soon. You can't keep us away from it, really. I've grown to love it in my short time here, and well, I'm sure that everybody watching along has loved it as well. I'm going to wrap things off now. It's time for a cup of tea. It's time to sit back and relax and maybe go enjoy some more racing on one day broadcasting. But it's been a pleasure bringing it to you all here as well. So we'll see you again very soon. It's been, of course, myself, Kelsey Gill. Dean Biggles has joined me in the box, and then Kieran Sharp on cams, bringing you all the racing action. But for now, it is a very, very warm good night.